$2.3 million. That is the number a 2025 Charles Schwab survey found that everyday Americans believe you need before you get to call yourself wealthy. 2.3 million. For most of us, that figure lands somewhere between a distant dream and a winning lottery ticket. You could work hard, save carefully, do everything right for 30 years, and still feel like you are falling hopelessly short of some finish line that keeps sliding further away. But here is the twist that almost nobody tells you. The number you actually need to stop worrying about money is not 2.3 million. It is dramatically, almost embarrassingly lower. And the best part is this: you do not have to guess where you stand. You can figure out your own baseline this weekend with nothing more than a calculator and your most recent bank statement. No financial advisor, no spreadsheet wizardry, no permission from anyone. So today, I am going to walk you through 5 signs that you have already saved enough. 4 of them are grounded in cold, checkable math that you can run on yourself in about 10 minutes. And the 5th one is psychological, and it is the sneaky one, because it is the sign that traps even the people who have quietly already won. Let us get into it. The first sign is the foundation for everything else, and it has a name in the financial independence world. It is called coast fire. Here is the idea. Coast fire is the moment your invested money has grown large enough that compounding alone will carry it all the way to your retirement goal by the time you are 65, even if you never invest another single penny from this day forward. That's a wonderful and strange thought. You could stop contributing entirely, and time and the market would finish the job for you. To understand it, you first need to know your target number, and for that, we use the famous 4% rule. This rule comes from research done by a financial advisor named William Bengen back in 1994. What he found was that a portfolio worth 25 times your annual spending could safely support a 30-year retirement. 25 times what you spend in a year. And here is a detail that makes this even more reassuring. In 2025, Bengen actually revisited his own work and raised his safe withdrawal rate up to 4.7%, which means that classic 25 times multiplier is not aggressive at all. It is a genuinely cautious, conservative benchmark. If anything, it gives you a cushion. Let me make this concrete with a person. Meet Maria. Maria is 35 years old, and she spends about $60,000 a year to live her life. So her retirement target is $60,000 times 25, which comes out to $1.5 million. That is her finish line. Now, Maria has not saved $1.5 million. Not even close. What she has is $200,000 invested. And this is where it gets beautiful. The historical average return of the American stock market after you strip out inflation is roughly 7% a year. If Maria never adds another dollar and simply leaves that $200,000 completely alone, 7% compounding will quietly grow it into about $1.5 million over the next 30 years, right around the time she turns 65. Do you see what just happened? Maria already hit her number, and she did not even know it. The pressure to aggressively save, to grind, to feel guilty every time she buys a coffee, all of that is off. That is coast fire, and you might be closer to it than you think. The second sign is one of the most satisfying moments in your entire financial life, and it is the moment your money starts out-earning your paycheck. In the early years of building wealth, you are the engine. Your salary, your discipline, your refusal to waste money, that is what does the heavy lifting. Your investment gains, by comparison, feel like a rounding error, a few crumbs on top. Sign 2 is the exact moment that whole dynamic flips on its head. I want you to picture it like this. One day, your money starts pulling harder than you do. It is as if there is a second you, a clone, working a full-time shift in the background. This second, you never sleeps, never takes a vacation, never complains, and never once asks for a raise. It just quietly makes money while you live your life. How do you know when you have reached this point? There is a simple rule of thumb. The crossover usually happens when your annual cash contributions drop below 10% of your total portfolio. Back to Maria. She has that $200,000 invested, and let us say she saves $18,000 a year out of her paycheck. In a decent year, the market returns around 10%. 10% of $200,000 is $20,000 in gains. Now, compare those two numbers. Her portfolio earned $20,000, while she personally contributed $18,000. For the first time, the market outworked her. Her wealth building has officially shifted from being paycheck-driven to being market-driven. The heavy lifting is no longer your job. It is the money's job now. And once that switch flips, it only accelerates. The third sign is not glamorous. In fact, it is deliberately boring, but it is the thing that protects everything else you have built. Sign 3 is having liquid defenses. Think of it as armor. Because here is the brutal truth. All that beautiful accumulation is completely useless if a single emergency forces you to tear it apart at the worst possible moment. There is a specific danger this armor protects you from, and it has a name: sequence of returns risk. That is the mathematical trap where the market crashes, and right in the middle of that crash, an emergency hits, and you are forced to sell your investments while they are down to pay for it. You lock in massive losses that you can never recover. Armor stops that from ever happening. So what does the armor actually look like? 2 pieces. First, cash. You want 3 to 6 months of living expenses sitting in a plain, boring, easily accessible bank savings account. For Maria, who spends about $5,000 a month, that means $15,000 to $30,000 in cash. And if you want a benchmark against the country, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that the average American household spends about $78,500 a year, which puts the required cushion somewhere between $20,000 and $39,000. Second, your debt has to be under control, specifically your non-mortgage debt. Things like car loans, student loans, and credit card balances should consume less than 15% of your gross monthly pay. And here is a reality check that shows just how powerful this armor is. According to a 2026 Bankrate report, only 30% of Americans could cover a surprise $1,000 bill straight from savings. Only 30%. So if you have hit sign 3, understand what that means. You are not just doing okay. You have literal financial armor that puts you ahead of the overwhelming majority of the entire country. The fourth sign is where all of this math finally turns into something you can feel, and it is the best dividend money ever pays. Once signs 1, 2, and 3 are locked in, you unlock a kind of leverage most people never experience. And here is the surprise. The greatest dividend your money pays you is not a luxury watch, not a sports car, not a yacht. It is something far more valuable. It is absolute control over your own time. Your paycheck is still helpful, sure, but it is no longer the only thin barrier standing between you and disaster. And that one change, that lack of desperation, completely transforms how Monday morning feels. Because you have armor. You can do things that terrified people simply cannot. You can walk in and ask for a raise and actually mean it. You can turn down the pointless weekend project. You can negotiate a 4-day work week. You can take the lower stress role that pays a little less but gives you your life back. And yes, you can walk away completely from a toxic boss who has been counting on your fear to keep you in line. Here is the litmus test, and I want you to answer it honestly. Could you walk into work tomorrow, quit your job on the spot, and be completely fine for the next 6 months? If your honest answer is yes, then understand this. You are playing an entirely different game than the millions of people who are quietly terrified of losing their very next paycheck. Work has become a choice. And that brings us to the fifth sign, the strange one, the one that is not about your bank account at all. Sign 5 is the moment you finally stop feeling broke. This is the invisible hurdle, and it is the trap that catches people who have already nailed the first 4 signs. It is entirely psychological. Your spreadsheet says you are secure. The math says you are safe. But your nervous system never got the memo. You still feel one bad month away from ruin, even when the numbers say otherwise. And this is not rare. According to Credit Karma, nearly 1/3 of Americans have a distorted, negative view of their own finances. It is especially brutal among younger generations, hitting 43% of Gen Z and 41% of millennials. And here is the kicker. Many of these people are actually sitting on above-average savings, and they still feel hopelessly, permanently behind. Their money grew up. Their fear never did. So how do you prove to yourself that you have beaten the glitch? It comes down to 3 specific changes in how you behave. The first is guilt-free spending. You can make a planned, budgeted purchase, something you decided in advance you could afford, and you can actually enjoy it without a wave of residual guilt washing over you afterward. The second is ending delayed maintenance. You stop putting off the important things out of irrational fear. Because if you have a 6-figure portfolio, but you are terrified of a $300 dental bill or a brake repair, let me be blunt, that is fear talking, not math. And the third is ignoring the highlight reel. You stop measuring your real behind-the-scenes life against the heavily edited and very often secretly debt-fueled social media highlights of total strangers. So let us come back to where we started. $2.3 million. That Schwab number that felt like a wall you would never climb? Here is the truth I want you to leave with. Wealthy is an arbitrary figure that somebody else invented and handed to you. But enough is a mathematical reality that you can prove to yourself this weekend with a calculator and a bank statement. True financial independence was never about hitting some magic astronomical number so that you could finally feel rich. It is about reaching the exact point where money stops dictating your choices and you finally start dictating them yourself. So do me a favor. Run these 5 signs on your own life this weekend, and then come tell me in the comments which sign you have already hit, because I promise you it is more than you think. If this gave you even a little bit of relief today, hit that like button and subscribe so you do not miss the next one. Take care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video.